Man is behind bars tonight charged with killing his wife, not allegedly with a gun or a knife, but by giving her AIDS.
Fox 5's Kevin Stewart joins us live from the Rockdale County Jail in Conyers with the story. Kevin?
The victim here was diagnosed with cancer, but soon doctors realized she had more than cancer. She had AIDS, and that's why her husband is here at the Rockdale County Jail. This is Denise and Cleveland Brody, married in 2014 after meeting at a Christmas party 2 years prior. These were better times.
And she loved this man. She really, really loved him.
But Cleveland Brody is now accused of violating his wife's trust, the family's faith. Rockdale County deputies have charged him with murdering Denise Brody, knowingly infecting her with HIV, his status completely unknown to her. She died in 2022 at 65.
And how long did she live after diagnosis?
2 days.
She put him out when she found out he was cheating on her. And she loved him so much that she actually allowed him to come back, asked him to take a test because he's out there. And he was smart enough to know that it would not get picked up.
Prosecutors first charged the husband in 2023 with only reckless conduct HIV, but the family pushed for murder and did the detective work to share with authorities.
Get evidence of the fact that he had it before he met my mother.
2 years later, now her stepfather is charged with felony murder.
Because at any time he could have told her, I have this, and she gave her the right to make the decision on whether or not she wanted to stay with him.
And one of the reasons why this is so tough for the family is because AIDS is no longer a death sentence. They're encouraging people to be tested for all STDs. Reporting live.
Shalom. Giving all praises to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Hashem. Yahweh Shah by Hashem God Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders everywhere. Peace and many salutations to Yahweh and his Torah and his truth. When I first saw this clip right here in the morning, I thought to myself, man, the Most High, is very methodical when it comes to his judgment at times. Sometimes it could be quick and sudden, and then sometimes it could be a situation to where he lets it plays out, until where when it hits its climax, it's something that's surprising and scary and frightful, man. And that word methodical, it means done according to a system or established form or procedure of a person, orderly or systematic in thought or behavior. And that's the Most High. There's order in heaven. The Most High sends certain angels out, to deceive people, to galvanize people to act a certain way, to issue out his judgment. That man, had basically spirits on him to act a certain way. Now that was Atlanta, so they didn't disclose the man's sexuality, but we can kind of use extrapolation. That's an older man, in his 60s, 50s, getting down with a 65-year-old, and they want him to get tested because he out there. And you can imagine what that man is doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, this woman, she's 65 years old, got the diagnosis that, that she got the AIDS and died 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? Now, years ago, this man was getting down, but she forgave him. You know what I'm saying? And again, we don't know what all was going on. We don't know, what type of, lifestyle this man was into. Either way it goes, this was a clear judgment from Yahweh by Shemel Shai. She went in for cancer, found out she had AIDS, and two days later she's gone. You know what I'm saying? The body couldn't fight off, you know, the cancer, you know, and with that cancer, not, you know, if you're not persistent and also you don't get it diagnosed very quickly, it can spread very rapidly within months. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, ain't no telling what that woman had on her mind when she was on her deathbed, you know. Um, and again, this shows you that you know the Lord, the Most High, is a fearful power. And also, there's really nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. You know, she's 65, got married. She thinks she's doing her thing. We don't know what type of woman she is. You know what I'm saying? Now, she's a so-called black woman, so she could be an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, seemingly, you know, on the surface level, you're like, hey, okay, she getting married. She found love. You know, uh, but you know, the most I set her up, you know, it was judgment from Yahweh by Shem Yahweh, man. And it's very methodical, you know, and fearing the Heavenly Father is where it's at, because you honestly, you don't know where you're going to be. You know, one day you're good, the next day the Most High can send some serious shit towards your way. That's why humility is so important. And that's why calling on the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for mercy is so important, man. Calling on the names is very important, you know, especially in the times that we're coming in, because it's about to get very serious out here very quickly. And people's judgment, again, is going to be very methodical. We've seen, you know, one example, but it's going to be uh, very ample examples in the near future, especially when things go up and things get way more expensive. You know, everybody's chilling right now because they're able to feed themselves, seemingly, you know, but now, you know, you got food uncertainty increasing. You have more and more people using credit in order to buy groceries, and they get behind on credit when it comes to buying groceries, man. So shit is getting very serious out here. You know, all we need is some more price increases, and you're gonna have a substantial amount of people that's in straight shit, including myself. You can't afford this shit. But hey, believing in Yahweh by Shemi Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? We know it's gonna get bad out here, so we have our minds ready to lose everything. Okay, so let's get to some scriptures. I kind of rambled there. Now check this. 1 Kings 22:20. Yahweh said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will persuade him. And Yahweh said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. So here you had an angel persuade the prophets to lie to Ahab so that he could be destroyed. Now, that female, you know what I'm saying, she looked like they were taking the church, and like they were taking a picture in the church. Looked like they were in pulpits. And, you know, you had various, more than likely you had various pastors and deacons saying, hey, you need to marry this man. This man is a man of God. And you know, it's time for you to a new life, new beginning. Yes, Lord. And all in that whole time, there was a lion. That was a lion spirit that, you know, that was on these prophets, man. You know what I'm saying? These false prophets, to persuade her to marry a man, you know what I'm saying, that was into some dark stuff, and to get judged by the Heavenly Father, man. You know what I'm saying? So that right there shows you how, you know, how scary the Heavenly Father is, man. You know, that's why it's so important. It's important to pray. I'm saying every day to ward every spirits off of you, because Satan could jump on you to have you doing some wild stuff, you know. But it's all the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay, 1 Samuel 2:6. Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High, He does everything. He kills, He makes alive, right? He destroys. He utilizes good and evil for His will. It's true power. Okay? Proverbs 16:4. Yahweh hath made all things for Himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. You see that? So even the wicked is made. It's made for His. Made for Him. It's made for Him. It's made for His will. He creates light and darkness. He does all things, right? And His judgment goes out every day. Okay? Psalm 7 and 11. God judges the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. So you will have to ask yourself, okay, well, a little girl who gets killed, you know what I'm saying, brutally beaten, you know what I'm saying, raped, little boy, same way. You know, why would the Most High allow that to happen? Well, that's His judgment. And if you don't understand reincarnation, you're not going to understand this Bible. Understanding reincarnation is something that's very, very important, man. Okay? We come back and we receive our judgment for the lives that we live. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so scary. That's why it says that the Most High judges in the third and fourth generation is what we see going on. You know, on the earth, you know, a lot of people on this earth, quite frankly, to get judged. You see what I'm saying? That's why a healthy fear of the Heavenly Father is so important. Now, this is 2 Ezra 14:35. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly be declared. Let no man therefore come unto me now, or seek after me these 40 days. And really the point was in verse 35, Salakiakian, right? So you die, you live again to where you're going to be judged. Okay? That was a judgment from the Heavenly Father, and it was very methodical. Let that woman live to 65, raise kids, you know, and thought, hey, man, I'm gonna settle down. I got this man, you know, he cool, I love, you know what I'm saying? And this dude is into all types of stuff, you know. I personally think being there was Atlanta, not the stereotype, but I think he was, you know, into, we'll say, the alternative lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And that way, that got that man judged, man. Not only him judged, but it was a judgment unto that woman. Okay? So again, the Most High is very methodical. Therefore, we should fear the Heavenly Father. Okay? Prayers for edifying, giving our praises to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Yeshim, Yahushua by Yeshim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders that we well. In peace and salutations, Yakim, that's toiling in His truth. Shalom.